Hello there. I am writing this to warn you all. My name is Taylor Ridge. I am a pianist. I go to a prestigious music school in New York. This incident happened over 3 months ago. It's based on a supposed urban legend that I heard from my friend. Let's call her Leela. She told me that on a full moon, precisely at 3:15 a.m., when you press on all of the black keys of the piano, you will open 2 portals to 2 dimensions. One dimension was a paradise where you supposedly see your future self, and if you say these 3 words, "this will be," you will have a future filled with success and good fortune, and it will be a permanent effect for the rest of your life. You can also exit this dimension once you've said those words to your future self. The other dimension is one that you can escape, but only in the first 30 seconds after you have entered. After those 30 seconds, you're permanently trapped inside that dimension. No, this is not a dimension where you have a suckish future. This dimension is the demonic dimension. If you're trapped, you will be one of the many victims of the demons. Also, if you don't enter one of the dimensions, you will end up releasing the demons from the demon dimension. But the thing about these 2 dimensions is that when the portals open, you can't tell which one is which. Both of the dimensions were just plain white portals, never knowing where you'll end up. Of course, I just shrugged this off as a cheesy horror story in hopes to scare. It failed to. It made no sense. It's like, oh yeah, here's your future self, or you're trapped in this demonic dimension forever. Why would playing all of the black keys of the piano suddenly open up 2 portals to different dimensions? Or so I thought. Some students from the music school were picked to go tour around Europe during summer vacation to play some shows. There were 8 of us going for this trip around Europe, including the headmaster and the head teacher of piano. The top 2 students from each department were chosen. The string departments, which consisted of me and Leela, the percussion department, which consisted of Michael and Ashton, the brass department, which consisted of Finn and Kelsey, and lastly, the wind departments, which consisted of Kennedy and Bernadette. Now, the incident happened on our last stop in Europe, which was Italy. We were all staying at this old, beautiful hotel. It was medieval styled. Made me feel like I was in a castle, honestly. It had a beautiful grand piano inside the ballroom. We had just finished playing our final show for the whole tour, so we decided to have a mini celebration for us students. Also to take advantage of the fact that we were of legal age to drink here in Italy, as the legal age was 18. We got the guys from the percussion department to get the alcohol and some snacks for us from the shop down the street. When they got back, we started playing music from Leela's iPod and started playing Truth or Dare and Never Have I Ever. Of course, with the slight intoxication affecting my brain, I decided to dare Leela, with my help, to press all of the black piano keys of the grand piano in the ballroom at 3:15 a.m. It was 3 a.m. and she was drunk, so she obliged to the dare. Ironically, there was a full moon out as well. All of us were about to go out of the hotel room and sneak into the ballroom. Kennedy, the only one who didn't drink out of all of us, tried to persuade us not to do it as it would get us into trouble. But the alcohol had all put us in the #YOLO moment, so we just went on with the dare. Kennedy decided to stay in the hotel room though, as he didn't want to get into trouble. It was 3:10 a.m. We asked Kelsey to time us the 5 minutes until 3:15 a.m. Once 3:15 a.m. struck, we both pressed all of the black keys of the piano. To my surprise, 2 white portals opened up. We stood there in awe until we decided to enter the portal, which was to the right, as we always preferred right from left for some reason. When we entered, I saw the most gruesome and horrifying place ever imaginable. We were in the demonic dimension. Panicking, I quickly grabbed Leela's hand and pulled her back into the portal, which was starting to close. I ran as fast as I could. I needed to get out of there. Before I knew it, I was back in the ballroom, but Leela wasn't beside me anymore. I turned back and I saw Leela getting pulled back in the demonic dimension by a monster or a demon or whatever. I ran towards her and grabbed her arms and pulled her with all of my might. "Leela! No! Help! Someone, please!" I was shrieking. I kept pulling and pulling. When I looked up, I saw the demon's face. I can never get it out of my head. The sinister gleam on its eyes and the unholy image of its face. I was pulling and eventually Leela fell onto the space beside me and got out of the demon dimension, just as the portal was about to close. The unholy face of the demon and the monster's shriek when the portal disappeared will always stay in my mind. We both then hugged each other and started crying. We were both hysterical. "Leela, are you okay? It's all over now." I managed to choke out in tears. She nodded in between cries. We decided to go back to the hotel room and go to sleep. We had to be up by 10 a.m. tomorrow. I was wondering why the ballroom was empty. Where did our friends go? When we got back to the hotel room, I checked the time. It was 4:20 a.m. What had felt like the most gruesome minute of my life was actually an hour. I shook it off. Maybe we were so drunk that we imagined it, and our friends were tired and wanted to get some sleep, so they left us alone from the ballroom. Right? That reason is logical. But the whole experience felt too real. Much too real. The next day, during breakfast, I brought up the topic of the celebration/mini party last night on why they left us in the ballroom last night. They all looked at me puzzled. "Remember, we wanted to celebrate our last show and we got Michael and Ashton to get the alcohol and we played Truth or Dare and Never Have I Ever? We all sneaked into the ballroom for Leela's dare," I said, questioning why they could not remember this. They were all giving me looks as if I were crazy. "Taylor, I think you may have had a nightmare, dream, or something because those things never happened," Kennedy replied to me. Now I was definitely confused. Everything felt too real. The party, the dares, everything. How come they don't remember? "Yeah, a dream," I mumbled. Afterwards, we started packing our bags to catch our flight back to New York. We got back to New York and everything was fine, until the next week came. The week after we got back from Italy, nightmares of the incident started occurring. As the weeks passed, they got worse. From me and Leela barely escaping the demon's grasp to eventually evolving into us not escaping and being trapped inside the demonic dimension. I asked Leela whether she was experiencing nightmares as well. We both knew what we experienced was real. No matter how much we ignore it, we will always know it was real. She told me that she hasn't had any nightmares and told me to let it go, that it was just our imaginations playing tricks on us while we were drunk. The more time passed, the worse my mental health got. I started seeing inhuman, dark figures before I would go to sleep at night. I started seeing demons from the corners of my bedroom. Every night when I was going to sleep, that monstrous shriek, unholy face of the monster would always haunt my dreams. Now I forced myself to stay awake. I couldn't risk myself falling for the trap. I just couldn't risk it. Every night those visions of those monsters, the visions of the demon dimension would haunt me. Soon enough, the fatigue caught on with me. I fell asleep, the worst decision of my life. I had the most terrible, the most horrifying nightmare that ever existed. I was running, but I couldn't escape it. I fell into the deep pits of the darkness and evil. Everything was sinister. The feel was so sinister. I woke up screaming. My parents rushed into my room. I was hysterically crying. "Mom! I saw it! It was there! Mom, help me!" I cried out in her arms. My parents started taking me to a psychologist. It was bullshit. He tried diagnosing me with a mental disorder as if I was crazy, but I'm not. "You don't get it, Doc. They're everywhere. They're following me." I tried reasoning with him. "No, they are not, Taylor. Whatever they are, you are mentally ill." No, I am not mentally ill." My little episode caused my psychiatrist to send me to a mental asylum. I was trapped inside with them. They were surrounding me in every corner, trapping me. I managed to escape. I needed to get out of there. I needed to go back home. I entered inside my house. It was empty. I saw a car pull over in the driveway. I ran down and greeted them downstairs. They didn't look happy to see me. They said they were going to have to take me back. No, I couldn't go back. It was hell being there. I looked into their eyes and I saw the darkness in them. No, the monsters have gone to them. I have to save them. I ran to the kitchen and grabbed a knife. "I'm giving you one last chance! Set my parents free!" I screamed as I pointed the knife towards them, but they wouldn't leave. "I'm sorry, Mom and Dad," I choked out. I killed them. I killed my parents. I stabbed them multiple times and stabbed their eyes out. Those demons needed to leave me alone. They had to leave forever, even if it means I have to lose my parents. I saved them. I saved them from the monsters. Now, I have to save Leela. I texted Leela using my mom's phone, saying that she should come visit as I have returned from the asylum and that I am perfectly fine now. She agreed and said she will arrive in an hour. I hid my parents' bodies inside the closet. Leela arrived, as she said. I went to greet her. I said that my parents went out to go shopping for groceries. I looked into her eyes and it had the same darkness as my parents did. I invited her to go up to my room so we can chat and watch TV. I told her to go ahead to my room first, that I was going to get some snacks. I grabbed the knife and went up to my room quietly. I was hiding the knife behind my hand. "Oh, hey Taylor, where's the snacks?" It turns out we were all out. I called up my mom to grab us some from the grocery store. "Oh, okay, come sit down. Let's watch some Friends," she said with a smile, patting the empty space beside her. I sat down, making sure she couldn't see the knife. When she wasn't looking, I stabbed her in the back. I whispered out an "I'm sorry." But I needed to save her. I stabbed her eyes so that the demons would die. I saved 3 people from those monsters. The blood of the blade was still fresh. Hopefully the smell of fresh blood won't attract any more monsters. Now I had to save myself. Before I kill myself, I warn you, never ever try this. Never press all of the black keys of the pianos on 3:15 a.m. on a full moon. Now I have to go. Just please, never try this. Your life will become a living hell. The monsters, the demons, they are all real.